Right. Here we go. Melissa McClelland, welcome to Empower Network TV. Very excited to be interviewing you finally. We've been chatting for about a month, and this rise in a line, we're going to talk about that.
Yes, yeah, super excited to be here and talk a little bit about what that means to me and yeah, my journey and my story, how I got here today to this very spot, talking to you about all the cool things that have happened so far.
Yeah, because where you are now, you certainly were not there 10 years, or fill in the you'll fill in the blanks, but
Yeah,
let's
that's
let's
about
do
right though.
let's do a brief snapshot of like what is today, because today is boom, and then let's tell the story of how you got here, because it's a great story.
Yeah, so today I got a couple of things going on. So as of today, I am the founder and CEO of two marketing agencies. So the first one I founded was my agency that does marketing for like coaches, consultants. The second one I founded does marketing for med spas in Canada and the US. Actually going to 2024, it's probably just going to be Canadian businesses only for that one. And earlier this year, I decided to finally pursue my passion project, which is business coaching. So that is what that's probably, so the third thing I founded this year was my the coaching business. There's going to be lots of cool programs within that. And that is the Rise and Align Inspired Entrepreneurs Collective. So my passion is helping people succeed. And I know there's probably a lot of coaches watching this too that are like, yes, of course, like that's my passion too. I know it probably resonates with some people. And I had actually been doing that behind the scenes in my marketing agencies for the businesses I worked with for a long time, because it was kind of funny as our marketing campaigns helped to grow their business, then they were kind of stuck. A lot of them like started their business by themselves or maybe with one VA helping them. And then as they grew, I kind of just was there providing that support almost informally, but then it became a core piece of my Done For You marketing to also offer the business, like that strategic coaching of like who to hire, like what's your next best step for your business to support the growth that we are bringing with the marketing. So I've been doing it behind the scenes for a while. So earlier this year is when I decided to finally, with everything running like a well-oiled machine in both businesses, I thought, now is the time. I want to get out there, I want to reach more people and help them. And one of the key things I focus on is time freedom, because yeah, I really feel like being an entrepreneur it's really challenging in itself. And too many people, they get stuck, they get trapped in their business because it's like everyone wants to focus on that financial goal. It's like, okay, when I make this amount of money, I'm going to be successful, I'm going to be accomplished. But for some people, this is coming at a huge cost, right? Like they don't have enough time with their kids. They feel like they're working their business 24/7. So I feel like that's my kind of unique spin on how I help people. I know there's lots of business coaches, life coaches out there helping people transform their lives in so many different ways. But that's something I found that is kind of different to my approach. We focus on like how much time freedom do you want? And then we either design or redesign your business and kind of work backwards to strategically do that and make sure that that happens and be proactive about it instead of, you end up trapped and now it's an afterthought of, oh my gosh, how do I get out of my business?
Okay, so why does your brain work like that? What is your background? Because you're clearly detail system scaling. That's what you're talking about. So a lot of people are not like that. So how the hell are you like this? What is your background? What were you doing at 6 years old, Melissa? What were you doing at 6 years old?
Well, thank you. I will take that as a compliment. Most people actually do think I'm younger than I actually am, but I often say I feel like I've lived 1,000 lives already. So in my life before entrepreneurship, I worked in clinical research for about 11 years. I went from entry level right to what the youngest person to reach one of their senior positions. So I kind of I had to acquire a lot of education throughout that process and a lot of experience with like management, but also with people, like, and really understanding what their day-to-day consisted of, how that fits into the big picture of our project. So in the field of clinical research, it was international clinical trials in acute coronary syndrome populations. So doing research on like devices, pharmaceuticals, also like manufacturing, import, export, working with, it was anywhere between like 120, 150 institutions across the world. And so my responsibility was to manage all of that and my team. So I got a whole lot of experience with the details, the big picture, how everything needs to work together seamlessly. So I had a lot of experience before coming into this with that. But interestingly, yeah, like business coaching, it wasn't the first thing that I thought of to pursue as an entrepreneur, but it actually probably would have made a lot of sense given my experience with that.
Okay, so you bring the systems aspect to help people scale, but then you're also coaching them. So can we talk about the two different parts? This practical implementation of systems versus mindset. What does that look?
Yes, yeah. So that is one of the things that I find people are either stuck with one or the other, but at multiple time points, you can be very stuck with both. And that's something that I've made sure to also be proactive about myself in my program. So the systems, you definitely need systems, right? But if I'm coaching someone and I say, okay, you're going to hire this person, they're going to come in, they can help you with this. Let's interview some people. Let's get someone who's the right fit for you. But if you have something blocking you that you may not even be aware of, I can give you all the practical tools under the sun. But if I see that you're not making progress, usually like something else is going on. It's either there's an unconscious block, or maybe you don't have enough time, right? So the systems are very important. The systems are your foundation for growth. Like without systems, without SOPs, like you're building your business on, it's like a house of cards. It's only a matter of time until it's going to, either you're going to implode from the stress of things just constantly not working and flowing the way that they should, or things are quite literally going to break, like your team's going to break down. So there are two very important components to growing your business. And the mindset. So for me, I also personally experienced mindset blocks, and it was frustrating for me because I knew I had the experience to implement and the systems and all that stuff, and even those interpersonal skills like building partnerships, nurturing a team, growing them, helping with their personal development. But there were certain points where I just felt really, really stuck, and I would hit those walls. And I've also invested heavily into my own growth with really amazing coaches who specialize in like mindset and things like that. And it really, really was so valuable to my journey. So when I'm working with people, I also feel like I'm very good at identifying when those things come up. And so what I do is I have somebody that I partner with in my programs. And when I identify that through the framework that we're working through in the mentorship or coaching, whatever program they're in, I have a partner who will come in and she will clear those unconscious blocks, because I know it's a problem, but it's not my area of expertise. So I was very mindful of that to make sure that I had someone with me on this journey who could clear those blocks for people. And I mean, the combination, like, that is the key. That is the key, I will say, is if you're really coming at your business with the mindset of, I'm going to run into mindset blocks, and there's a whole lot I don't know about systems and implementation. And if you're open to improving both of those areas, that is that magic recipe that can really just get that momentum going.
Well, you are very aware of staying in your lane. How did you learn to stay in your lane? Because the temptation is to be things you are not designed to be. For all of us, myself.
Yeah.
And I'm learning. How did you learn to let go of what you should not be holding on to?
Well, I think I did it a little bit more quickly. Like when I was building my own businesses, again, like I started solo. I didn't have a partner. I didn't have investors even. So, like kind of like funding this personally at the beginning. And it actually, because I had a team and because I was used to being in that leadership position, I was used to having my hands off the like day-to-day tasks. And it was actually difficult for me to be the person doing those tasks. When I first started, I really wanted to get back into that leadership role. So for me, it was a no-brainer, because I knew the value of that. Like I knew what I could achieve when I didn't have my hands in that kind of stuff, when I wasn't micromanaging, because I had done it successfully before. But that is something that a lot of people do struggle with, is that letting go, that piece. So I mean, it's when you can stay in your role as a visionary and a CEO, I think with most things, it just comes down to just doing it, just trying it. Like, even if you're scared to do it and you're really terrified that everything's going to explode, like if you don't get out and you don't start kind of building yourself out of those day-to-day tasks, the outcome is going to be much worse. I can confidently say that. You're either going to be mentally exhausted, you're not going to see the growth that you want. So, I think that's important to keep in mind if you're scared to let go.
Isn't that the same in life? Like, aren't we all wired a certain way to do certain things? And if I try to be you, I'm gonna fail miserably. But if I be more of what works for me, that helps. You know, like, are we just? Isn't that true of all of life? To stay in your lane.
Yeah, 100%. And I think too, also in working with some really great like mindset coaches, in with various specialties, I've also become like very, very in tune with my intuition as well. Which and also it's helpful with my clients too, because like you can get that intuitive kind of confirmation with those, practical skills of like, yes, this is the right direction. And that's something that I rely on a lot.
How did you get good at that? What was the impetus for that?
Working with coaches that helps me get there. Help me to understand. I think I've always been maybe more in tune with my intuition than most. And it's kind of funny sometimes when people hear me talk about this, because they're like, you're all about practical. And then when I start talking about that stuff, they're like, oh, I wouldn't expect that from you. But it's definitely a nice to have. And I think for me, that's also something I rely on to stay in my lane. Like if something doesn't feel right in my gut, I'm like, you know what, even though on paper, this looks good, this looks like a great opportunity, whatever it is, it's like if something feels off, I also feel like I'm really good at identifying that quickly to stay in my lane. And every time that I don't listen to that, it doesn't go well. Anytime I do, things work out. So that's also something that I remind myself, that that's the motivation for staying in my lane, is because if you don't and you don't listen to your gut feeling, then usually things don't work out very well.
All right, well, let's talk about some testimonials. So clients that you brought through this process, what has been their outcome?
Oh, like getting their time back. And that's my most like the primary objective that I work with is I want them to get the time freedom back. I want them to be able to I was working with somebody last week, and we kind of planned out their next steps, and it couldn't have come at a better time. Like they were going through some personal things that had gone on, and it really put the importance of getting them out of their business like front and center. They're like, you know what, we have to do this now. I need help with my next hires. Like, you're right. This is, and that's the thing is, when life happens and you're not prepared and your business can't run without you in it, that's usually the turning point for most people. So some of the things she was saying is like, this is going to get me the growth that I need. It's going to help me get the time to, and for her also, it was about having peace of mind, that she doesn't have to be there all the time, and knowing and actually seeing too, because like when I sit down and look at like, okay, if making this hire allows you to take on 5 more clients, that brings in this much revenue. For every dollar you spend on hiring, you're going to make this much back, less expenses, blah blah blah, and all of those things. So that's what I think is the biggest achievement, is clarity, confidence, and peace of mind that they're building something now that's sustainable, that they don't have to babysit, for lack of a better word. Like, you're not going to be completely removed from your business, but you don't want to be doing those day-to-day things that are going to burn you out. Like, you want to be firmly in your role as a visionary and CEO.
You're speaking my language, because this is what I'm going. I'm almost month 10 of this project. On the 15th, it's 10 months. And I'm moving more and more towards automation, teams, management people that can offload what
Yeah.
I should not be carrying. So, okay, so for someone that is struggling and they're swamped, they have no time. They know that if they got hit by a bus, and they're alive, their business is not, it's done. What are they supposed to do? Because all they know is everything is encroaching in on them and it's all on them. So what is the first step? Like, how do they even explore this?
Yeah. So first steps, so something that we do is the first thing I'll ask is, okay, what are you spending the most time on? What are you spending the most time on that you dislike doing very much? What do you like doing? And then once you like those three questions will usually tell you who your first hire should be. So because whatever you're spending the most time on and spending the most time on tasks that you dislike, between those two, and once you start listing them out, like for marketing agency owners, it might be an ads manager. They might be in there running the campaigns and they can't handle it anymore. So if that's something that they're spending the most amount of time on, then that would probably make sense for your first hire. So it's figuring out with those questions, exploring that who should be my first hire, and then looking at your margins and looking, okay, like how much help can I bring on? And that might look like one part-time VA. I like hiring overseas personally, like some of my people are US based, some are in Canada, and some are overseas. That can be a really affordable option. Just like even one part-time person, one part-time VA, if your margins allow it. And if they don't, then start building it into your pricing. Like if you feel like you can't afford to hire, then we need to look at your offer and your pricing structure, because you should be considering that right from the beginning. Again, kind of looking at like the big picture and building all that in from the beginning, because like if you're making sales, that's great, but if your margins are too tight to hire, like you're just gonna you're gonna be stuck either running the solo or, well, yeah, just running it solo, I think mainly. Because if you can't hire people, like what are you going to do? That's probably the best value, I would say, up front. And of course, like there's all like systems and like platforms and stuff that you can use. But like, again, buying systems and these platforms and these apps, if you're already strapped for time, ideally you want to have somebody who can help systematize your business already like there before you're bringing on those apps. Because even a part-time VA, if you sign up for like a marketing platform to add some automation, like your VA can watch the training videos, they can do it for you. I mean, obviously, provided you hire somebody with those skills. But yeah, it depends. And this is the thing, like there's no cookie cutter solution for anyone. And I think that's why a lot of times when people are reaching out for help, for business coaching, and they're buying courses and they're like, well, this works and this doesn't, and now what am I supposed to do? Like you need somebody's eyes on your business. It's to at least give that initial clarity of what that step is. And as you get momentum and using those questions, you can maybe start to identify who your next hires are and get your process down. But yeah, I think those would be my suggestions.
Value today, great value. So after we're done, please put any links in the Facebook Live in the comments so people can, if you got funnels, links, books, whatever you got. Yeah, have you read the book yet about your journey?
I have not. That is something that I am planning to do for 2024, as well as like in-person speaking opportunities. I'm also looking to line some of those up for 2024. So yeah, if anyone's interested in following my journey of growing my personal brand, helping more people in business coaching, I can just follow my personal profile, and yeah, there'll be a lot of cool things coming up that I'll be sharing on that page. And I'll definitely drop a link below. I'm just opening up this week spots in my, it's a small like mentorship kind of group. It's more of a mentorship than a group coaching. So those applications are open. I can drop a link below if anyone wants to hop on the phone and talk to me. And you know what, even if it's not a good fit for the program, you're going to walk away with so much clarity just from that one call, because I'm telling you, one conversation, I can probably pinpoint exactly what your next best step is. I haven't not been able to yet. So.
Amazing. Thank you, Melissa, for being here on Empower Network TV. If you've been watching, listen to this is today, tomorrow, whenever you see it, Melissa McClelland, and great value, and make sure you check what she's offering out, because I know firsthand this stuff can really help. And without the proper systems in place, oh my gosh, it's like the world's caving in on me.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you so much, Amos. It's been so much fun being here. Also looking forward to engaging with others in the community. If you have any questions or just want to say hi, yeah, just tag me in the group in the comments. I'll keep an eye out.
Yeah, Melissa, I can get you on a first date networking event if you're interested in those too. We just launched those first date networking event. Let me know if you're interested. I can hook you up. Ciao for now.
Yeah,
Thanks.
sounds great. Thank
Reach out.
you. Bye.